Code to Enhance Learning presents the CEL video series on creating mobile apps in Thunkable. How can the knowledge of creating apps help us? Let us watch this video on Andre Lewis to see the role of an app and technology in his life. While you're watching the video, reflect on how Andre's life would be without these technologies.
My take on life is that life is definitely there for the taking. What you put in is what you'll get out. Two things important to me in life are family and music. They both play a huge part in my life. Technology allows me to be my own one-man band. I try to be as independent as I can, and the way that I do that mostly is with low-tech, which is a white cane, and high-tech, which is a phone.
Seeing AI. £20.
That's really cool.
Scene preview.
Scene is actually really cool. It's quite descriptive, really.
Processing. A store filled with lots of different types of fruit.
I think that's pretty amazing.
Terrific.
In my view, one of the best parts of seeing AI is the ability to read pictures from social media, because so many times someone will send me a picture of something that I cannot understand. So I will share that picture to Seeing AI.
Scene. Probably a group of people sitting on a bench in a park.
And then I'll get a description of what it is.
Person. 8-year-old boy with black hair looking happy, 7-year-old girl with brown hair looking disgusted. Handwriting preview.
With Handwriting Channel, I was actually able to read a card from a family member last year. That's the first time I'd actually been able to do that without help.
Dear Dad.
That was
Alice
so
worked.
good.
We can tell if Jake's been writing well, if the handwriting tab can recognize it. That's good proof, really.
We love you, Daddy. XXXXXX.
There is so much more that I can do now that I couldn't before. You've grown up.
I used to be 9.
I think Seeing AI really is a huge technological step down the road, and I hope that we can continue down a road like this for many years to come.
The way an app and other technologies are helping Andre Lewis to lead an independent and happy life, we could also try to create solutions for problems around us and others. We can also make the existing solutions easier and efficient. Through this video series, we aim to introduce you to the world of creating your own apps through platforms like Thunkable. Let us briefly understand what Thunkable is. Thunkable is a cross-platform app builder, which means that any app you build on Thunkable will work for both Android and iOS devices. In this series, with every episode, you will be introduced to different elements of Thunkable, and you shall be able to create an interactive application that can be run as a mobile app. Here is a list of the applications we shall be creating. I'm excited about all of them, and in particular about the space game app. Which one gets you the most excited? Let me introduce you to the first application that we are going to build. In this stressful life, we can choose music as an option to relax ourselves. So today, we will be making a digital version of one of the musical instruments called the xylophone. The xylophone is a percussion instrument that can play melodies. It consists of a set of bars set across a frame. Each bar produces a single note when struck. We can make this instrument in our phone as an app. Isn't that interesting? As each bar is meant to produce a musical note, we could represent each bar on the app like this. Task 1. Pause here and think of how we can design the xylophone into a digital app. You can draw the screen design in a book or any computer application like Paint. Feel free to add colors and components on your own. This is the digital xylophone app, and we will be working towards creating it step by step in this video. Let me show you how it works. Are you able to hear the musical notes the app is producing similar to the musical instrument? Let us briefly look at the interface of Thunkable. The interface is broadly divided into the Design panel and the Blocks panel. On the left side of the Design panel, we have different components like button, label, text input, slider, etc., which you would also commonly find in the other apps. Towards the right of the design panel, we can define properties for the component. For example, for this button, we can define the text that will appear on the button, the background color of the button, and the rest of the properties. In the center, we can find the different screens of the app. As you see here, we have screen 1 and screen 2. Let us now look at the block panel. This is where you would tell the components what to do. Say the button C. In this case, here we are telling the button to play its associated sound. On the top, we have other options which would mostly be required at a later stage of app development. So we don't have to worry about them at the moment. Let us start by designing the visuals of the app. We are now on the landing page or the home page of our Thunkable account. I shall click on Create New App. Then I shall name the app and then click on Create. We have a fresh screen ready to start our designing. Let us now create the visuals of the app. We will be using the component called button from the design panel. A button is something you can click on to perform an action. This action can be anything from navigating to a different screen, saving information to a database, or in this case, playing a sound. Let us place a button as per our design. So now we will modify its properties to match the visual design that we have created for the app and see how we can modify the properties of this button. So take a look at the right side of the panel. Here we have the name of the button. So I'm going to name it as button underscore C to denote the musical note that it is going to produce. Now, do I want the label on the text as button? That's not required. So I will just remove it. Right? And then, so there's no font required. Text color, we can just leave it as is. And then layout is mostly used if you want a very precise location for your component. For me, I can also drag it, so I'm just leaving it as is. I'll keep the visibility as is, and then background. So I'm okay with the blue that has come by default, and then border. I don't need any border or the color for the border, so I'll just leave these three as is. And the radius, maybe we can just make this a rectangular box. So I'm just going to remove this, make it as 0, which makes it completely rectangular. Right? Rest of the things are not required. And if we observe the design, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars. So I shall spend it. Let me just expand this bar. Think. Yeah. So this is the first bar that I have created using the button. So we can similarly add the other buttons and modify their properties as per the required design. I have all the components set as per our visual design for the app. Let us also tell these components what to do. For that, let us move to the blocks panel where we can write the code for the components. In our application, we want each button to play a different sound. So let's go to the button, say button C. When would we want the buttons to play the music? So there are 4 options available here, and I'm going for the click option. Every button should play a musical note when clicked. So here is our task 2. Pause here and look at the different options available for the sound component. Which one should we choose to achieve the following objective? Select options such that when the user clicks on the button, the associated sound should be heard. We can use the option to play the sound 1c.wave. Let me drag it here. We can import sound files from our system. So let me place this play option of the sound into the button. Link for the sounds is provided in the description of the video. Let us test our code in the preview mode. Preview mode helps in checking if the code and the related component is working as per your expectation. If not, then you might need to check the code or the component again. We had written the code for button C, so let us test by clicking on it. Can you hear the sound? Let me click on the other buttons. You can observe that the sound doesn't play for these buttons as we are yet to write the code for them. We can allocate sounds in a similar fashion for all the buttons as we did for button C. Ta-da! This is how the code for all the buttons would look like. After we have written code for all the buttons, let us once again test our application for the desired output. Back to design, go to the preview mode. Let me click on the buttons. Now are you able to hear all the sounds associated with each bar? Yay! We have developed our own digital xylophone now. We can also publish this app on the App Store for others to use. Click on the information icon above on top right to watch a video on how to publish the application on the App Store. We hope you enjoyed making this simple and interesting application with us. Here is a short quiz to refresh your understanding. What kind of a design component is a button? Options are available on the screen. The right answer is A. A button is just something you can click on to perform an action. Let's go to the next question. What will happen with the following block? Options are available on the screen. And the right answer is C. It triggers the code below when the button is clicked. You can also consider modifying the Xylophone app into a version of your favorite musical instrument. In the next video, we will be demonstrating how to build an app to measure body mass index, which is an important indicator of our health. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you.